Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving deep into the architecture of passive wealth. And to do that, we're going to look at a pretty incredible case study about a guy named Aaron. Now, Aaron was right where a lot of us have been, completely caught up in that daily grind, working from dawn to dusk, giving it absolutely everything he had, but then looking at his bank account at the end of the month and just thinking, where did it all go? He realized he was stuck in this brutal, linear trap. And that realization? Well, it led him to ask one fundamental question. He asked himself, if I stop working, my income stops too. Is there a way to make money even when I'm not working? I mean, it's a huge question, right? For Aaron, realizing that his actual survival was tied 100% to his active labor was the ultimate wake-up call. It was the catalyst. It totally pushed him to start deconstructing how real wealth is actually built and how you can create systems that just keep operating completely independently of your own human hours. Okay, let's get right into Section 1, the time for money trap, working for money. So the core difference Aaron discovered all comes down to where you actually direct your effort. Working for money, it's entirely linear. You trade an hour of your life, you get paid for an hour. That's it. But people who successfully build assets, they do the heavy lifting exactly once. They build a system or an asset that just keeps generating value long after that initial push is over. Honestly, it's literally the difference between pushing a heavy boulder up a hill every single day versus, say, engineering a machine to do the pushing for you. Which brings us perfectly to Section 2, defining passive wealth, building assets. Here's the thing you absolutely have to understand about passive income. It is not about an absence of work, not at all. It's actually a total shift in the nature of the work. The whole focus moves away from just earning a wage to building an asset. You're front-loading all that effort to create something that produces recurring value indefinitely. Now let's look at exactly how he did it in Section 3, Aaron's 4 income pillars. Multiple income streams. So Aaron didn't just do this all at once. His execution actually happened in phases. Think about his strategic progression here. He started off with digital content, specifically a YouTube channel. Why? Because it required absolutely zero financial capital. It only took his time. Then, as he started gaining some real traction, he brought in affiliate marketing. And eventually, he was able to leverage that new cash flow to fund more capital-intensive assets, like dividend stocks. So he essentially transitioned from high-time, low-capital effort all the way over to high-capital, low-time investments. It's a brilliant progression. But hey, we really need to address the whole iceberg illusion here, because those first few months, almost nobody was watching. I mean, his videos were getting maybe 10 to 20 views total, tops. It is that classic trough of sorrow, where it genuinely feels like you are putting in maximum effort for absolute zero return. But he just kept creating. And eventually, the algorithm picked up his back catalog. Suddenly, out of nowhere, he was earning money from work he did months and months prior. Now, if we break down the mechanics of his third pillar, which was creating an ebook, it perfectly illustrates this whole idea of decoupling your time from your money. Think about it. He put in the grueling hours upfront to create this asset exactly once. Just once. But by hosting it online, he built a system where that book could be purchased and downloaded thousands of times, with absolutely zero additional production cost or labor on his end. Like none. When you map out this architecture, it's amazing to see how each asset he built translates into a very specific, recurring revenue stream. You've got ad revenue, product commissions, direct sales, and company profit shares. It's wild to think about, but every single dividend payment or every ebook sale effectively acts like a tiny employee, just working in the background for him, totally independent of what he happens to be doing that day. Let's move on to Section 4, the tree metaphor. Growing passive income. One day, a friend actually asked Aaron how on earth he managed to completely transform his financial situation, and Aaron gave him this incredibly simple but powerful analogy. He said, think of passive income like planting a tree. In the beginning, you water it, you protect it, and for a really long time, nothing seems to happen. And it's so true. It's the ultimate test of delayed gratification. Because watering a tiny seed, it looks like completely useless work to the untrained eye. That is, until it finally takes root, grows strong, and starts bearing fruit year after year after year. And that brings us to Section 5, the path to freedom, building assets early. Walking this path, guys, it requires a complete and total shift in your mindset. It means finally breaking that linear cycle of trading your time for money. It means embracing the delayed gratification of building systems today strictly for the benefit of your tomorrow. As Aaron learned firsthand, the ultimate goal isn't just to work for money. It's to engineer assets that eventually do the working for you. And honestly, the earlier you start, the longer those assets have to compound and grow. Which leaves us with one final super important question to consider today. What asset will you start building today? Seriously, whether it's drafting that first chapter of an ebook, starting up a new channel, or just investing in your very first fractional share of a stock, the time is going to pass anyway, right? You might as well spend it planting a tree. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and we will see you next time.